Hi, good evening. This is Dr. Karthik Narayan, founder and CEO of Lit Skills Learning, and let me welcome you all on a Sunday evening for this live webinar session with me. So I'm really super excited about today's session. I've just written my first book. It's called List 21 CL Fix. So basically, it's for what schools need today. So I'm going to share some more thoughts and insights about what really is required for a teacher and for an educator in today's classroom. So I am basically on a mission to help at least 100,000 teachers to be globally competitive and successful in today's challenging world, and especially in classrooms today. So a lot of teachers, I've worked with a lot of teachers over the past 12 years of my experience. I've traveled many places, worked from rural schools to, government schools to, CBSE to IB to IGSE, you name it. I have put my hands on it. So putting all my experience together, I'm going to bring in some insights about what best can be, delivered to you. And I'm also going to talk to you about some tips and some secrets about how to unlock the 7 steps. The 7 key steps to be successful in the classroom today. Now, education. When we are talking about today's education, there's a lot of things going on. There's a lot of new realities which has come in. Now, if you have to go back to your own roots of how you and me learned in the classroom, the rote learning methodology was the only thing that we were concentrating on, where the teacher will come and she will train and she will teach us, and we will just write notes, dictate. She dictates things for us, and we grab things, and we just go on. And more importance was being given only for the reading and the writing part, whereas the listening part and the speaking part, which is the most core primary thing for any child's overall development, was never being given when I was studying in school. Based on my personal experience, I'm just sharing all these things. So what happens is, in a classroom, generally in a classroom, when the child has been exposed to learn any concept, any concept from any teacher, let it be a subject or let it be a language. My first question to all the teachers is, this is what I ask the teachers. In a given 45-minute period of time, do you really think so? Do you really think so? Whatever you're teaching can be understood by all the students in the classroom. The majority of them, if I have to just root it down, people say that, only 10% of my students will understand what I'm teaching in the classroom, or say 5%. So what about the remaining students? Are they not understanding, or is there any problem in the methodology of what you teach? Or you as a teacher, do you have any kind of flaws in you? So this is the primary first basic question what I ask my teachers. When I work with schools, I work with a lot of schools, and I ask these teachers, what is the complex of the complex issues that you face when you are teaching? Remember, end of the day, every teacher is a superhero, and every child is special for me. And when we are coming in this challenging world, the competitive world where technology is taking over education, technology plays a key role in education today. Now, India as a country, we pass out 8 crore graduates in a year, and in surprisingly, there are only 7.5% of the 8 crore graduates who pass out are getting jobs, which is a big concern. The common problem, the burning problem, what I have identified as an educator is lack of communication skills for the graduates who are passing out today. Especially, when you're talking about rural sector, that's the primary concentration what I'm trying to focus myself on. Now, cities like Chennai, Delhi, Bombay, and Bangalore, you have a lot of schools and a lot of exposures and a lot of things. If I have to bring it in a very layman's term, a child who's studying in a city like Delhi or city like Bombay or Bangalore, their parents are well studied, are well prepared, and they work either being a software engineer or a lawyer or a doctor or whatever. And they study in very high-five schools, IB schools or top-class CBSE schools, and they get all the state-of-the-art facilities in the school and all these things. So somehow the exposure to the language is already there. But what about the students who are coming from rural India? That's the primary concern for me. I have been doing this research for quite a long time now. Now, for the rural Indian students, the primary thing what they lack is on the language skills, especially. I mean, when it comes to speaking English, which is becoming a very challenging situation for the students, and also it's becoming a very great concern for the teachers also to teach English when it comes to teaching English as a language and not as a subject. Most of the students today consider English as a subject, and surprisingly, if you see the overall development of the child when the child is put in a school, and by the time the child completes its schooling and comes out of the college, the communication skills plays a key role for the child. And because of that, what's happening is when the child is facing the real world, when they go inside the corporate world to find a job, they really don't get, they're having fear, they're having phobia, they're not able to make out some simple English sentences, grammatically correct sentences, because that's what they're being taught in the schools. That's what they've been learning in the schools. So that's how it is. And what we also need to understand is language playing a key role in today's world. I come from a very small-time family. I have traveled many places, and I've studied in the government school. And today I have trained more than 3,000 plus teachers on teaching English language as a language and not as a subject. I conduct a lot of student enrichment programs, teacher enrichment programs, and many things for overall development of the child. Now, in today's session, basically what I want to do is I want to address the top three challenges that teachers face in today's classrooms. How many of you agree that there are challenges in the classroom today? When being a teacher, being an educator, there are a lot of challenges. There are plenty of challenges. But if you can identify the top three challenges, and if you can root down the cause and effect for that, and if you can start working towards it, there's always some betterment, and there's always some continuous learning that we as teachers and educators can also do something better about it. Because end of the day, teaching is not a profession. According to me, teaching is not a profession. It's more into passion, and only teachers can build future leaders of India. In a country like India, where we have 100 billion youth, we can never go wrong. If you're comparing greater countries like America and Russia and China today, the competition is pretty challenging. Right? Do you agree there are challenges? If yes, please type in yes in the comment box right now. If you agree that there are challenges in the classroom for you being a teacher, please type in yes in the comment box right now. Every teacher is a superhero and every child is special. Now, when I say this, when we talk about this, the primary skills what I want to address is leadership skills for teachers in the classroom. Now, when I say leadership skills for teachers and for educators, it's like some teachers will be like little overwhelmed, or like what does this leadership skills got to do with me teaching in a classroom? In order to be successful and in order to motivate others and directing others, especially when it comes to the teaching profession, being educators, if you cannot motivate your child, and if you cannot motivate your child day in and day out, you can never see the next advanced levels of the child going to the next stage and doing some wonders. Remember, a single textbook is not sufficient for a child to be successful or to enrich the skills what is there. This was said by CBSE itself. So a child will typically get bored to read a single textbook for a whole year if it has to be a language book or if it has to be a subject or whatever it is. In a similar way, as from the child's psychology point of view, let me tell you this. Please don't take it wrong. The child will also get bored to see the same teacher, teaching throughout the whole year and doing the same things again and again and again in a repetitive mode of teaching. And obviously, the child's intention and the child's mindsets will also change. So I've had these interactions with kids, and kids tell me I get bored of my teacher, looking at my teacher every single day, because she does the same thing again. All she does is she gives me activities and she gives me only readings. Now, in this 21st century, when we're talking about 21st century, we have transformed from chalkboards to digital boards to smart boards, and from smart boards we have now come to a phase of artificial intelligence and augmented reality. This has been introduced as a syllabus for class 9 and CBSE as of this year. The government of India has taken an initiative, and I'm really happy and I'm really surprised. Happy is for one reason, because at least today's generation has got an exposure for technology, and and then if you see the generation, what you and me, when in our generation, I did not even had an opportunity to do anything like called as tab learning or online learning or digital learning or something like that, because on a generic mode. Students, especially kids today, are highly exposed to internet and technology. Now, even if it is a rural school or even if it is a extremely remote school, technology is there everywhere. You have internet everywhere. You have smartphones everywhere, and you have lot of learning apps which is coming up. As a teacher, are we exposed to that kind of technology? Are we exposed to those kind of skills? Do we have that technical skills that what we need to have for today's classrooms? Now, my example, my teacher doesn't even know how to operate a tab even today. She's got like 35 years of experience being a teacher. But when it comes to, when I had to do the training for her to get into the online training and to use digital methods of teaching, she find it very difficult. But kids, at the same time, the students, they are 10 times faster than us. Today's children are much smarter than you and me. If you agree with me, just type in yes in the comment section. The teacher training programs, how many teacher training programs, how many innovative teacher training programs have we undergone as a teacher? There is NCERT and NCF, training schedules which happens from CBSE on a regular basis for schools, but how many of those trainings were really effective for you as a teacher in order to be the best and deliver the best in your classroom? You may have your skills. You may have every teacher is like a beard and an emmet, and they have their degrees and they have their passion. Everything is fine. But end of the day, my simple question is: if you being a teacher, if you are teaching something in a classroom in a given 45-minute period of time, how many students can understand your concept at just like one go, like this? If the majority of your students are understanding whatever the concept you're going to teach at one go, that means you're a great teacher. You just have to inspire others, and you just have to go on, and you have to make this progressive and take it to the next level. But on a grassroots level, what I have seen is a class 7 CBSE student cannot talk on an extempore topic. If I have to give them a simple topic like, say, talk about a water bottle or talk about a chalkpiece or a pen or a computer in front of his own class students, forget about one-on-one, in front of his own student, own friends, he or she will not be able to talk. Why? What's the reason? This is my biggest question. And if they can speak in English for 2 minutes without making any kind of grammatical errors, that means the child is, you being a teacher, you have delivered something really great, and the child is able to understand this. But how many children can do the same thing in this given class of 40? That's my question. Can all your children do that? No. It's only the top 5 or those are the top 5 or 10% of the students who are on the top of the pyramid. The mid-level pyramid and the bottom of level pyramid students are still the same. Are they bad? No. Are they not up to the mark? No. Maybe the methodology of teaching can be changed. Now, when I come to methodology, when I come to the methodology, we have a lot of concepts: blended learning, digital learning, one-to-one coaching, and we have video tutoring, artificial intelligence, and augmented reality, many more. But end of the day, my simple point and my simple question is this for all the teachers. This is a question for all the teachers. Do you really think so? A computer can teach a child successfully better than you as a physical form of a teacher? I mean, humans. Is technology better than humans? I say to a certain extent, yes, but in the education field, when it comes to a classroom learning, a computer can only give answers. A computer can never give questions. Computer can never ask questions. How many of you agree with me on this? If you agree with me on this, type in just yes on the chat box. A computer can only give answers. It cannot ask questions. It's the teachers, it's the human interference which is required in the classroom. So the blended learning concept is pretty good, and where the child is exposed to online platform as well as a teacher interference is also there. But when you follow up with assessments and discussion cards and all the other things, in order to simplify the joy of teaching, the teacher's methodology is the primary thing what I have really concentrated on. And I really want to help that and help those teachers to change the methodology of what they can teach. See, personally, we all are humans and we all are great. But in order to be exceptionally, great, exceptionally well and exceptionally the best teacher in your own school, I have some, I have some secrets which I want to share with you. And I want to give you my best of the best knowledge what I have in the past 12 years.